What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Kevin Jackwitz. This is the Kaged Review. And I decided that just before 2020, I wanted to do my top, what will be 12 most anticipated movies for 2020. Now, prefacing this, obviously I don't know all the movies coming out, and there's a lot of independent films that don't even have trailers. So these are just from the trailers I've seen. There may even be other trailers that I haven't seen yet for movies coming out in 2020. But these are the standouts for me right now. I did this last year, and I'm actually going to do a year-end review of the 2019 list that I made and talk about what I thought about the movies and kind of what were the bad movies and what were the great movies. It was a little bit harder for me to do that with the 2020 list as far as picking out what I thought was something I really needed to see. So, ladies and gentlemen, starting right off, the first movie that I'm pretty interested in is The Eternals. This is the new Marvel movie coming out next year, and I gotta be honest, Marvel, they're not perfect. They're certainly not incapable of making really bad movies or big mistakes, but their track record for me is pretty solid. They have made something that has never been done in cinema before, and people like Scorsese can say whatever they want about it. These are genuinely good films at times. They're very fun. They have a lot of humor to them, a lot of action, a lot of special effects, things that you just go in and enjoy. So I have no problem with that. The Eternals is directed by Chloe Zhao, and it stars Angelina Jolie, Kit Harington, Salma Hayek, Kumail Nanjiani, which I thought was an interesting choice. It's got a very big cast to it, and this is basically the immortal race that has helped shape the Earth and the history behind it. And so it's going to introduce these characters and their storylines. So I would have to imagine that this is visually going to be incredibly stunning. And it's definitely something new from Marvel. And I think walking into Phase 5, they really have to set a new tone. We have the Infinity Saga done. Now they have to figure out what they're doing next. And I think introducing new characters is extremely important to that. So I'm very glad that they are making The Eternals. So I can't wait for this movie, and I really hope that they knock this one out of the park. Next on our list is No Time to Die, the next James Bond movie. I'm honestly not the biggest fan of the James Bond series. I never really connected to them that well. Now, they can be very fun, but at times I think they can also be very campy and incredibly far-fetched. Some of the stunt scenes and, the fight choreography and the chase scenes are just, they go too far in my opinion. Like, the believability just disappears. But they can be very fun. And Daniel Craig has absolutely been the best James Bond in my opinion. So No Time to Die is directed by Cary Joji Fukunaga. It stars Daniel Craig, of course, coming back as Bond. And it also has Ralph Fiennes. Rami Malek comes in as Safin. Christoph Waltz reprises his role as Ernst Stavro Blofeld. And Lashana Lynch comes in as Nomi, a new Bond, a female Bond. Very interesting, and it looks like this is going to be the send-off for Daniel Craig. He's had a hell of a Bond career. I forget how many movies he's had, like 5 something, give or take. So he's been very prominent in this role, and this looks like a passing of the torch. So for that alone, I'm pretty excited to go check out No Time to Die. Next up on our list at number 10 is Uncharted. They're actually making an Uncharted movie, and I couldn't be more excited about this because I have played every single Uncharted game, and they are phenomenal. However, we all know the bad history with the movie industry trying to translate video games into movies, and sometimes they have failed miserably. Well, this one here is directed by Travis Knight. Travis Knight, if you don't know, he's probably most known for his movie Bumblebee, which was the Transformers spin-off. And I actually think that that was one of the best Transformer movies. Well, to be fair, that doesn't take much to make a better Transformer movie than Michael Bay. But I did think it was cute. It had some great moments to it. It had some very cool action to it. So it makes me hopeful. Tom Holland, who of course is Spider-Man in the Marvel Universe, is coming in as a young Nathan Drake. And Mark Wahlberg, I thought this was interesting, is going to play Victor Sullivan, which I could definitely see because Victor Sullivan is a little bit older, he's still in shape, and he's got this really wry sense of humor. So, based on the director, the two actors that I know of, and all the things that they could do with this movie, I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful that this will be a decent movie. Next on our list, we have Bad Boys for Life. Bad Boys has always been kind of a guilty pleasure for me. It's been explosions. It's been a lot of comedy, which I do like. Some of it hits, some of it misses. Most of it hits, though, I think. So I'm very glad that they're bringing back Will Smith and Martin Lawrence to reprise their roles. This is directed by Adil El Arbi and Bilal Fallah, and I hope I didn't butcher those names. Sorry. So yeah, I am expecting to be the big blowout for what is to be a trilogy, and it does sound like this is going to be the last movie for the Bad Boys series. Although they do things to death. They do have Joe Pantoliano coming back as the captain, and he is funny as hell. I've always liked Joe Pantoliano. In his serious roles and in his comedy. I just think he's absolutely great. So I'm expecting the big blowouts, the special effects, a lot of humor to it. So I'm just thinking it will be a fun ride. So definitely looking forward to Bad Boys for Life. Next on our list, New Mutants. This is a movie that has been in production hell for quite some time, and now that Marvel has bought Fox, it's been delayed even longer because this was originally a Fox movie. So this is directed by Josh Boone, and if you don't know Josh Boone, he directed The Fault in Our Stars, which was an absolutely amazing movie. So that alone says, okay, they've got somebody very good behind the helm. I'm excited. New Mutants is a spin-off of the X-Men. And the whole premise here is a bunch of new mutants in this facility held against their will as they're discovering their powers. And it has Anya Taylor-Joy as Ileana Rasputin, or Magic. Maisie Williams from Game of Thrones. She plays Rana Sinclair, or Wolfsbane. Charlie Heaton from Stranger Things comes in, and he plays Sam Guthrie. Also has Antonio Banderas in it. So much like most X-Men movies, it has a very big, very good cast. You've got a good director behind it, and now it seems that Disney has stepped in and they are still going to put this movie out in 2020. It's been pushed back several years now, but it looks like we're finally going to get it. And with Disney at the helm, I think that this is a movie that they are really going to try to push and make as good as they possibly can, because they have a whole new franchise that they can start with now, going back and reinventing the X-Men. I don't know that they will do that, but the fact that they're putting this out makes me hopeful. So very excited for New Mutants. Coming in at 7, we have Venom 2. I thought it was very interesting when I found out that it's going to be directed by Andy Serkis. He's an amazing actor. I love him. That guy is great at everything he does. So now he's coming in and he's directing Venom 2. He's bringing back Tom Hardy, of course, as Venom. And this also has Woody Harrelson reprising his role as Cletus Cassidy. Now, if you watched the original Venom and stayed to the after credits scene, you know that Cletus Cassidy was seen in a prison cell, and he was talking about the moment he gets out, there's going to be carnage. Well, carnage is, of course, one of the main enemies of both Spider-Man and Venom. So it creates something very cool that they could have on screen here. I think a lot of people will go just to see Venom and Carnage get it on. I think that'll be an absolutely amazing moment to see that fight scene. So very cool. Can't wait for Venom 2. Coming in at number 6 is Black Widow. This is directed by Kate Shortland, and I think it's not higher on the list just because we already know what happens to Black Widow in this universe. She's already dead. This is obviously a flashback movie, but it is very cool. I'm definitely down to have a Black Widow solo movie. I've been waiting for it for quite some time. And me, just like everybody else, feels like Black Widow should have been Marvel's first female-led hero movie. I think that put a bad taste in people's mouth when they made Captain Marvel and tried to push it to the moon. So this definitely has Scarlett Johansson coming back as Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow. Has David Harbour from Stranger Things coming in as Alexei Shostakov or the Red Guardian. Rachel Weisz coming in as Melina Vostokov. Florence Pugh coming in as Yelena Belova. And these characters that I just mentioned kind of make this core surrogate family for Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow. So that's kind of the storyline there. You also have Robert Downey Jr. making what I'm assuming is going to be a cameo. Maybe he'll be in there a little bit more as Tony Stark, Iron Man. You also have Ray Winston, who is just a great actor. Like, he is an amazing actor. William Hurt, who likewise is a great actor. And you have Taskmaster, who I'm not sure who is playing Taskmaster, but he is one of the major villains in the Marvel Universe. So it's going to be very cool for me to see him. So this is going to be a bit of a love letter to Marvel fans, I think, in a way, too. Not just for the Black Widow character, but also for, hopefully, Taskmaster. I think that would be very cool. Next on my list is Mulan. And the reason this is so high on the list is simply because of the trailers, the way everything looks, the cinematography, the storyline that I've gotten from it so far. I have not seen the original animated Mulan, so I don't have that to go by. But with the track record of Disney lately, I have to believe this is going to be an amazing movie. And the feelings that just the trailer evoked, it just got me very invested in this. So this is directed by Nikki Caro, and I'm going to try not to butcher this name, Yafai Liu as Mulan. It also has Jet Li coming in as the Emperor, and Jason Scott Lee coming in as Morrigan. Jet Li, obviously, I love as an actor and a martial artist. And same with Jason Scott Lee. I've always thought that Jason Scott Lee should really be used more than he has been in Hollywood because he's just damn good. So, like I said, based on what I've seen from the storyline and the visuals of the trailers, I am thoroughly invested in this movie. It's definitely something I'm going to make a day one. So I can't wait to see Mulan. Next on our list is Top Gun Maverick. This is directed by Joseph Kosinski and stars Tom Cruise coming back as Maverick. It also has Jennifer Connelly, Val Kilmer coming back as Iceman, and Ed Harris. So you have some returning players here. And one thing I love about Tom Cruise movies is he does whatever it takes to make everything look legitimate. He trained in these planes to get these close-up shots of him actually flying and doing these amazing aerial stunts. It just blows my mind. And I'm not even really that big a fan of aviation. I mean, it's cool, and it looks cool. And the shots for the planes and some of the stunts they're doing are just absolutely amazing. But the fact that he puts so much effort into it, I just respect that so much. And it really does come through on screen. It really does make everything look absolutely amazing. And so that's one of the major reasons I'm looking forward to Top Gun Maverick. Number 3 on my list. I used to love Coming to America when I was a kid. I don't know how many times I watched it, and kid is relative. It's not exactly child appropriate. But it was so funny, and Eddie Murphy had so many great lines in there, and not just Eddie Murphy, but Arsenio Hall as well. So when I heard they were doing Coming to America with the number 2 instead of T-O, I was already interested in this. So it's directed by Craig Brewer, who's worked on Empire and Dolomite Is My Name, another Eddie Murphy movie that recently came out. Eddie Murphy is coming back as Hakeem. James Earl Jones is coming back as Joffrey Jofer. Very important to me there. You can't have this without James Earl Jones. I'm sorry. Wesley Snipes is a new addition who is going to be, I guess, a leader of his army or something, or guard. Arsenio Hall reprising his role as Semi, which was Hakeem's trainer and best friend who went to America with him and had some just great moments in the movie himself. Also, James Amos coming back as Cleo McDowell. You also have the addition of Tracy Morgan and Louis Anderson coming back. So it really does feel like they're trying to make this a love letter to the original, definitely respecting the original and trying to do something new with it. So I can't wait for this. I expect it to be absolutely hilarious. Eddie Murphy, he went through a very long dry spell where he didn't do much. He just kind of fell off. But now it seems like he's really brought his career back. And that just honestly makes me as happy as can be. Because he was an amazing comedian. He really was. So I am really excited for coming to America. Number 2 on my list is likewise a movie that I absolutely loved when I was younger. Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2 I watched, I couldn't tell you how many times. I just thought everything about it was great. Of course, for the time, the special effects, the comedy was there though. And it was just a fun movie, both of them. And so when I heard that Jason Reitman, Ivan Reitman's son, is going to be directing this, I knew this was going to pay homage to the original 2 movies. Not like that travesty of a Ghostbusters sequel we got a couple of years ago. And a big selling point to me is, again, paying homage to the first one. You have returning characters in Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, Annie Potts, Sigourney Weaver. They're all reprising roles from the original 2 Ghostbusters. And so that is just very cool to me. And unfortunately, we all know that Harold Ramis has since passed, who played Egon Spengler. And so it looks like they're going to have either Egon's child or grandchild in this kind of taking over for him. And speaking of, you have Finn Wolfhard playing that role, and Paul Rudd being I don't know if he's a school teacher or a scientist, but he obviously has some kind of pivotal role in this. So Paul Rudd, I absolutely love. And again, when you're talking about something who can, a movie that needs serious moments and can have somebody that can pull off comedy, Paul Rudd is the guy. So I think Ghostbusters is easily one of my most highly anticipated movies for 2020. And number 1 on this list is Wonder Woman, 1984. And I have to say that I really struggled with this one because I didn't want to just put it at my number 1 spot because it was a DC movie, because I am a DC guy. I think that Patty Jenkins really created something with this series, and I am really anticipating big things with the next Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 1984. You, of course, have Gal Gadot reprising her role as Wonder Woman. You have Pedro Pascal coming in as Max Lord, who appears to be the main bad in this movie. But very important to this for me is you have Kristen Wiig also coming in as Barbara Minerva, who eventually becomes arch nemesis of Wonder Woman, Cheetah. And one of the reasons I'm really looking forward to this movie is it looks like you're having some very emotional moments here with Gal Gadot. She lost Chris Pine's character, Steve Trevor, who is back in this movie. And I don't know if it's that he's actually back or that he's like imagining him back, And like maybe there's an internal struggle there. But also, Barbara Minerva and Diana Prince were very good friends, and eventually there was a falling out, and that created Cheetah. And it looks like they're kind of going with that. And so I'm really interested to see what they do with the relationship there. You have Robin Wright coming back as Antiope, Connie Nielsen coming back as Hippolyta. So, a very cool continuation that I think they could do a lot with. And because I am a DC guy, I have to put this very high on the list. So I'm just hoping that they don't drop the ball because unfortunately that can't happen. There was an absolutely amazing first movie for Wonder Woman. And I really hope that they hold true to what they were working on there. So, ladies and gentlemen, number one on my list, Wonder Woman 1984. So there you have it. There is my list for the most anticipated movies for 2020. As you can see, a lot of big blockbuster movies, a lot of big budget movies. But those are the ones that tend to put out their trailers fairly early. So it'll be interesting to see what else comes out throughout the year, what independent films that I'm going to fall in love with. Obviously, there's a lot more that we're going to have to get into with 2020 when it gets here. But for now, that's what we have. Let me know what you think in the comments below. What movies are you really excited for? Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this. Hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackowitz, Kaged Nation, out.